in the kitchen again, and today we're making dessert. Now, I know that you've noticed this gorgeous woman here, and I want to introduce you to her. This is my beautiful mother-in-law, Miss Freddie Johns. We're so happy to have her here with us today. You guys, she is a cooking connoisseur, and I have to brag on her a little bit here because not only is she a fabulous cook, but she's a pro golfer. And Mom, tell how old you are.
I'm 65 and proud.
Yes, 65 proud and just living the life. I tell you, she's an incredible cook, incredible golfer, an amazing teacher, and one thing that she does every single week to stay healthy is she gets adjusted, and she's on our Core 4 supplement program, which is just fabulous. So today we're about to show you how to make the most delicious cheesecake you have ever tasted. We're so excited. You are gonna love this. All right, so the first step in making this cheesecake is the crust. And my mother-in-law has got the best crust you have ever tasted, I promise. So I'm gonna let you take it away. Will you explain how to make this delicious crust?
Yes, I'd be happy to, Katie. And first let me say it's great to be in the kitchen with you. When you're the mother of 3 boys, the kitchen is a very lonely place. So thanks for being here with me today. I started just by taking some organic butter. I used approximately 3/4 of a stick, and this is a Pyrex dish. You can just put it on the stove and melt it as you're working, right? Less pans to wash. We like that, don't we, Katie?
Absolutely.
And then we're going to take just your almond flour. So that's good, healthy almonds. I have a 1 cup measure, and I'm going to just, can't reach it in, I'll just pour this in here. And measurements don't have to be exact. Sometimes I tweak it if it's not exactly right. We'll start with a cup. And then I always put just a little bit of sea salt. I always use unsalted butter because then I can control the sea salt that I put in. Sometimes when you're having a sweet dessert, a little taste of salt just gives it a little punch. And then to sweeten it up just a little bit, I'm going to use some stevia, which is made from the leaf. Dr. Randy always says if it's made in a plant, you probably want to avoid it. If it's made from a plant, it's probably okay to eat.
Yes.
So we're going to just sprinkle a little bit, and this is your taste. If you prefer it sweeter, that's strictly up to you. And so we're going to take this very fabulous utensil, a fork, and we're going to mix this together. There's one more ingredient we have not put, and that's going to be some chopped fine pecans. So we're going to mix this around, and I can tell already just by the look of this that I did not get quite enough flour, so we're going to add a little bit more almond flour to that, and that's just something that you can test out. You want it where it's very easy to work with, so we'll just try that. It's not ruined, I promise. And so you mix it around. In just a minute, I'm going to get in here with the utensils God made, my clean hands. And that's the best part. And just a tad more. If you were working this crust on a board, you would have more flour that you would knead it with. But this is the easy way. So I believe this is going to work. Now we're going to add my little trusty assistant. It's already chopped my nuts, so we're going to add some pecans. And this is strictly your, whatever you prefer. If you like more or less, it's just strictly up to you.
And the pecans add a nice, sweet little nutty flavor to the crust.
And a good crunch.
And a great crunch.
They don't have to be toasted before because we're going to bake this crust at 350 degrees in the oven for about 15 minutes. And so as it bakes, the pecans get really crusty and yummy. Okay, my hands are just washed. So I'm going to show you how we really do it.
Yes, let's see the trick.
This is the good trick.
I tasted this cheesecake when she made it, and I was so enraptured with crust because I'm a crust girl. And I just was like, oh my goodness, this is the best crust. And I have tried to make so many different kinds of almond crust, and it would never turn out crispy. And this was the most crispy, buttery crust I had ever tasted. And I just thought, how did you do this? So I kind of tried putting the ingredients that she said in. I put it in the oven, and it was still coming out soggy, and we're going to teach you a little trick in just a few minutes of what you have to do to make your crust crispy, because there's a very special technique to it.
Sometimes the crust gets really thick in the edges, and so I use this little measuring cup just to sort of, if it gets a little sticky, just put a little bit more flour right around the edges, and that can help you get it thin at the edge. Then I usually just take my thumb and finger and just go around the edges like this.
Ooh, look at
to make it pretty. And then this is the secret
This is
that
the secret.
that I forgot to tell Katie.
This was the secret.
Yes, when you get it ready to stick in the oven, you must prick it and make some little air holes so the steam can escape. Because
Yes.
if you don't, the crust will not be flaky and really crispy
No.
like we like it.
Turns out foggy.
Even on the sides, because when you stick this in the oven, it's going to puff up a little bit. And so we want to make sure we stick lots of holes in it. We're ready to stick it in our preheated oven, 350 degrees for about 15 minutes. Don't go off and leave it. Some ovens cook quicker than others. Just put it on the middle shelf. Then you're ready to go. And then we'll get the filling ready and the berries while that's baking.
All right, so what are you doing? Let's explain for
Okay.
everybody. You've got
just
so
put
much
in
fun.
Some room temperature cream cheese. It's organic cream cheese we get from our granary store. And I'm going to sweeten it up just a little bit with stevia. So I'm going to put 2 tablespoons. And again, this is your choice. Some people like more than others. That's probably enough. You can always taste test. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. You might tell them about your vanilla. It's organic vanilla.
It's organic, but one thing to be aware of when you're shopping for vanilla, and I've talked about this before, but making sure it's sugar-free. So what you want to look for is just that it says, you know, this is made of organic vanilla bean, in water and with organic alcohol. That's all your vanilla should be made of.
Back when I was a kid, we didn't have perfume. We just put a little vanilla behind
There
the
you
ear.
go.
I'm just taking my microplane, and when you zest a lime, you just want to get the top part. So very quickly, you don't want the white, you just want the green,
good.
and that already smells delicious.
That smells
doesn't
delicious.
It?
It smells so sweet and so
fresh.
zesty. I'm telling
Gives
you.
it just a little bit of something, you think, what is that?
Yeah.
Good. And I'll save the lime because in a moment we're going to use the juice for the blueberry topping.
Yum.
So now we're just going, and this is going to make lots of noise.
Okay.
So we're just going to cream this up.
Ooh, look
Try
at
not
how
to
great
spill
that
it all over you.
Well, I hope you do, and then I'll taste it. There's never a problem with me tasting anything. Kind of a bottomless pit.
And you just beat this until you beat lots of air into it. And then we're going to also beat some whipping cream in just a second to fold in.
That smells amazing.
Okay, to finish up our filling, we need some real whipping cream. Don't go with a half and half, it won't work. This is organic whipping cream, so go ahead and add
Everything.
the whole thing. If a little is good, more is better.
Exactly.
Okay, now I'm a preschool teacher. I'm great with scissors and paper. So Katie looks so lovely today. I don't want this splattering all over her. So take a paper plate, cut it, make a little hole,
How cool is this?
and then you just run your little mixer right through here. And so we just beat this for about 5 minutes or so. You'll know when the whipped cream is heavy enough that you lift your beaters out and it all sticks to it. And so it takes about 5 minutes. So we're going to do that, add the vanilla and a little more stevia, and then we'll be ready to add it to our mixture.
Great.
Okay, now that whipped up quicker
Yeah.
than 5 minutes, so be sure and look because you
Yes.
never know about your whipping cream.
right.
Sometimes the heavy cream whips up even faster than we thought. I'll go ahead and use this spatula because we're going to add it all
Mix
together
it.
anyway.
That's right.
Okay. Because you don't want to use your mixer to add these two things together. You want the air incorporated in there to stay. So
I've made that mistake before.
I'm going to add more vanilla.
So good.
It's 1 teaspoon.
1 teaspoon. Perfect.
Yes. We're sweetening every
Yes.
layer with stevia, so I'm going to also add.
The stevia makes it really sweet, but it doesn't make it too sweet. It's perfect, I'm telling you.
Okay, and be very careful as you mix this together. And then we're going to just fold this in.
Okay. So you just pour that into the cream
Yes,
cheese
I'm just
part.
going to put
Okay.
this in here, and then we'll take steps to just, so you can see how thick and nice and rich this is.
This looks amazing right
That's
now.
why it's important to get organic whipping cream,
That's right.
because we have quite a bit in there. I'm going to put this in the sink.
And then later I'll dig that out and I will lick
Now
it.
to fold, you just go to the bottom of the bowl and come up, and then cut through and do it again. And you just keep doing this
There's an art to this, let me tell you.
and if you get a little on your fingers, you know.
Fine.
Okay.
And it's okay
So-
if you want to lick the bottom of it afterwards. Like, no one's going to judge you for that.
Now this
Wow.
filling is ready to go in that shell, and I'm going to check the oven and see if our pie crust is ready to take out.
Yes, let's do that fun part.
Okay.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
I think it's perfect.
Get some room for you there. That looks absolutely delicious. Look at
Now-
that pie crust. How
Now
gorgeous.
at home, I would let this cool for a little bit before I add this in, but we're just going to go ahead and show you what to do.
Okay. But definitely if you're at home, let it cool a little bit. You're definitely gonna get a better texture to your crust because you don't want your crust to get too soggy, but we're gonna be okay.
But see how nice and fluffy and
That
beautiful
looks so
this is?
good.
And then I'll let you just smooth that out.
Okay. Now next, what's our next layer that we need to do?
It's very simple, and we're going to do that with blueberries.
Woohoo! I love blueberry. That is my absolute favorite. Okay, what do you think? Did I make that pretty enough?
That's perfect. And this is when I would just stick this in the refrigerator and let it set up really nicely. So we're going to stick it right in here. And remember, blueberries are our friends. Very high antioxidant berries, so we love blueberries. So just put them in your saucepan. And then I always like to add arrowroot, and you may not know what that is, but it's just made from a plant, and it's a great thickener. It's gluten-free, has no taste, it's very easily heated over a low heat, not a high heat. So this will just thicken the juice on your blueberries and help it stay on your pie. So I'm just going to put a tablespoon of that inside. Back to our wonderful stevia plant. What would we do without that?
I don't know.
Sweeten them up just a little bit. Then as we put it on the stove, we're just going to stir it and wait until the blueberries just become a little bit softened and the juice comes out and thickens.
Delicious.
Then I cut the lime and put the juice of a lime in there.
Great.
So right now we'll just take it to the stove, and I'm putting it on low heat. Okay, our blueberries are ready. I just squeezed the lime juice in. Then you can top them across liberally, however you want. It's also beautiful if you have just a little mint growing in your backyard to just put a little mint on there. We need our vegetables,
Just add some mint, you know?
So that makes our delicious cheesecake.
Thank you so much for being
for
with us
having
today.
me.
We had so much fun. We hope you enjoyed it. Now, let's eat some cheesecake.
Sounds great.